over and over again you'll hear me refer to clean food. So in my world, the way that I've learned about nutrition and health and myself and my body and the people that I love and their health and their bodies and their issues and the things that they need as far as food is concerned, is there is a huge difference between what standard American diet, your average person would consider food, and what I and my family consider food. There are a lot of things that people eat. There are a lot of things, generally anything commercial, fast food, big restaurants. There are different places and ways that people put things that are food and process them and then put them together and call that food, but that's not what we consider food, because there's a lot in our lives that has changed. We've all had a lot of different kinds of sicknesses and a lot of struggle to just maintain a quality of life that feels worth living. So we've gotten to a point where we're very particular about what we put in our bodies and what we consider food. And at this point, when we have vacillated back and forth, okay, I should eat this, now I've got it under control, yeah, I feel better, hey, I've earned myself, a night of Taco Bell or pizza or McDonald's or, something along those lines, a TV dinner, ramen, different things like that. We've figured out that that's not food. That's not, it makes you less hungry, but it doesn't really make us feel good. And we started to learn the difference the more that we ate real food, real clean food. And we contrasted that with prepared food, boxed food, fast food, all of those things. They're mimicking food, and we were trained to believe that that was a way to feed our body, but it's just not anymore. It's not something that we are willing to do. So the biggest struggle that I've had, and I know my brother has had, is that we can sit in a doctor's office and they can show us all this blood work that says you are allergic to this, you are allergic to that, or this is bad for you, this is not okay, you can't eat these, you're probably having a reaction to that. They can sit there and tell you all the things that you can't eat, all the things you shouldn't eat. I can sit here and describe all the fast food and all of that stuff and tell you not to eat that, but when you're hungry, what do you eat? I've gone to doctors that I really trusted who helped me so much, and after seeing them for years, gone in and gone, okay, I am doing my best to follow your instructions, but what do I eat? What can I eat? I'm terrified of everything I could possibly put in my mouth. What do I eat? And I never got a straight answer. So I have had to figure it out. For the most restricted diets, I have had to figure out what you can eat. I make a huge dinner every night for a variety of restricted diets. And to describe that to you, my qualifications to give you this advice on what clean food is, I do not have an immune system, which means that my body, my bacteria, I've had antibiotics since I was a little kid. The bacteria in my gut is very, very unhealthy, or it has been. It may be better at this point, but it's a long journey. I do not respond well to food. I don't process food well, and it's a very constant balancing act. I also don't process carbohydrates and sugars well. They have varying effects on me. Generally, any grain at all, any grain, corn, anything will cause an adverse reaction for me. It will make me very sleepy. It will give me mood swings from blood sugar, and it will also affect my gut. And I will have severe mood swings around bowel movements. So I will just go from like perfectly normal and happy to really cranky or suddenly sobbing, depressed. And it's a mood that stays with me, and I can't get out of it until I have a bowel movement, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So I've learned that grains do that to me. Grains, when they're processing in my gut, they wipe out my serotonin and dopamine, and they make me very, very sad and unhappy. And I don't really like living my life that way. So I avoid all grains. I can't even give you the list of things that I avoid, because I don't focus on what I avoid anymore, because I avoid a lot. I avoid pretty much anything you eat, probably. And I have gotten very restricted. My husband and my brother are also very, very restricted, more restricted even than I am, and they don't eat the same things either. There is a small area where we all overlap, and that to me is the clean food. That to me is the cleanest of food. And my brother still has clean food for him, and my husband still has clean food for him. and I have clean food for me, and we don't completely overlap, but there is an overlap. There is an overlap that I can lay out for you. I have just gone to the grocery store, and my mother went to Costco, and we filled up on our bulk. We feed 6 people at least every night, and we have filled up on the bulk of all of our basic core foods that every single person can eat. And I have made videos showing you how I prepare those foods. If you want to go look at those, I've given you the tools to help you make them very easily. I'm going to continue to make you more videos on recipes and tricks I use and all of that to make clean food easy, prepared ahead of time, and change your life, and not do this battle of, well, my world, my husband's food, my fridge, my pantry, all of that stuff is full of junk and stuff I probably shouldn't eat and all that stuff. And I mean, what am I supposed to eat anyway? So I might as well eat, some of what my kids are eating, some of what my husband's eating. I might as well run through, I would always go through, even when I was eating really clean, I would always go through and just get chicken nuggets, because even though there was grain, was a little bit of grain, it didn't seem to bother me very much. And even though it's not like meat, it was simple. It was just a small amount of product in little packets, and it wasn't, a bun and all of that stuff. And it was working for me. It doesn't really work for me anymore. Now my diet is cleaned up enough that if I go do that, I feel pretty awful pretty quickly. And I've stopped. And I didn't stop because I knew I had to, and because I had willpower. I stopped because I didn't like the way it made me feel, period. Don't keep beating yourself up. Make active decisions in a positive direction. Watch this video. I'm going to take you into my kitchen. I'm going to show you all the clean food. And then bring that food into your house. And tell yourself you're going to make food every weekend for the week. You're going to make dinner every night. You're going to prepare ahead of time. And you're going to provide that good, clean food for yourself, your partner, your children. You're going to find recipes people like. If people don't like it, that's okay. That's part of the process. Figure out what they did like about it, what they might have liked about it, if you'd change this, if you'd change that, and keep adapting. Don't take it as a hit. Just keep going. Creativity is about creating a bunch of stuff you don't want. If you quit, then you never succeed. But if you keep going and you keep failing and you keep failing and you keep failing, that's how you become an expert. That's how you become really good at something. So I'm going to take you in. I'm going to show you all the food. And I'm going to give you some ideas and some tips, and I'm going to show you what to eat. And when you clean up your diet and you start eating really healthy, and you start eating really clean food, and you eat it when you're hungry, and sometimes when you're not, you try it and it's actually pretty good, and you eat some but you don't overeat, and you just feel good and you keep going, and you don't have the regular up and down cycles with food that you're used to having, you'll start to see the difference. And then when you decide, hell, I want Pop-Tarts for breakfast, I don't have to tell you not to eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast. Your body's going to tell you not to eat Pop-Tarts for breakfast once it knows the difference. So don't beat yourself up, and make a decision for a positive change towards clean food. Just head towards clean food. That's it. It doesn't matter if you're standing still facing clean food and eating Pop-Tarts going, okay, I'm still headed that way, but right now I'm eating Pop-Tarts. When Pop-Tarts start to get into your system, you're going to want to take steps closer to clean food, because you're going to realize the difference. So here we go. Let's go check out clean food. So I have been absolutely insane, and I have cleaned out the entire island and taken all of the food from both refrigerators and the pantry and the counters, and I have brought it all together so that I can run you through what you can eat. What is clean food? If I'm hungry in the middle of the night and I need more calories, what can I eat as much of as I want? What do I put in my kitchen? What do I actually eat? What do I use to feed, to cook my family? What do I eat? I know what not to eat. What do I eat? So, don't be overwhelmed. There are 6 adults who eat a lot of food in this house, and we have 2 refrigerators, and we have a lot of food. One 6'6" guy, my brother, who is vegan, and he eats only fruits and vegetables, so we have a lot, and we go through a lot. I make a lot of vegetables every night so that he has something cooked, and he eats a lot of fruit all throughout the day, and we've got a lot going on. So, that gives me the opportunity, though, since we just shopped, to actually show you what you can eat. What is clean food? What can I eat? So, here we are. For one thing, I like to make things in bulk, and I've talked about my rice maker in other videos.
I used it last night to make beans and lentils, and I just took from Whole Foods was once having a sale on bulk beans and organic lentils and beans and all of that stuff, and I just bought a whole lot of it. So I have a whole lot of it, and I'll take just a little scoop of each one and put it all into my rice cooker, add water and some seasonings, just really bland, easy seasonings, and then I let that cook just like it would cook the rice, and all of a sudden I have a big batch of beans, and I'm going to separate that into smaller containers to freeze longer term. But now we have just something bulky to eat for my dad to grab for lunch, or for myself, and those of us who eat beans can just have some on hand. So this is a technique that I use a lot. I make things extra, I make things in bulk, and I package it up. I put portions in the freezer, I put portions in the fridge, and then everybody has something to grab when they need something healthy to eat. So beans is something that I did recently. My go-to, and I'm gonna make, if you haven't seen it yet, if I haven't made it yet when you're watching this, I'm making a video about fats. My go-to for fat is Kerrygold butter, and that's for me, that's what I eat, and my husband Aiden eats it as well. It is a healthy fat because they're grass-fed cows, so it's a higher omega-3 ratio, and it's much better for you than higher omega-6 or other animal fats, etc. I eat as much Kerrygold as I want in general. If I'm hungry at night and I really don't want to eat food, but something really indulgent sounds nice, I just eat something I don't necessarily want to eat, but I cover it in a lot of butter, and then that's actually really delicious for me, and it helps me get my calories in because I need to get more calories in. So we keep steak from local farm on hand. We find ways to buy it as cheap as possible and get the best quality meat. If you don't have the funds to buy the highest quality meat, animal meat can be very unhealthy for you. We go ahead and make sure that we allot enough money to spend on high quality meat because Aiden and I especially eat a lot of meat, and that's one way that we get in calories and protein, which we both need. And we make sure that the meat and the eggs and the dairy, anything that we eat that comes from an animal comes from animals raised really, really well with the right kind of food and the right kind of nutrition, so that we get the right kind of nutrition from them. And all of those studies that tell you how bad meat is for you, they're all completely true. It does not apply, in my opinion, and the studies don't cover this, but I do not believe that it applies to meat that is raised very well, doesn't have all those antibiotics, has a high omega-3, etc. So when I say meat is clean food, I don't mean McDonald's burgers, and that's not what I mean. I mean pasture-raised, grass-finished beef. So, not the same thing, but we always keep meat for ourselves on hand. We have chicken breast from Costco, not high quality meat, but we need bulk, especially for Aiden, he needs a lot of protein. So we have a whole bunch of chicken breasts. I put all of that in a pan, I put some seasoning on it, I put it in the oven, and I cook a lot at once, and then when it cools off, I put it in plastic bags, I put it in the freezer, and then he doesn't have to cook it, he can just grab it, thaw it, put it in the fridge, whatever. He can have protein ahead of time, or protein that's prepared ahead of time. For me, something that only I and my father eat are the chicken apple sausages from Adel's. I don't know how to say their name, but I would get the organic ones, but I can't stand them. I don't like the way that they taste at all whatsoever. These are delicious to me, and the organic ones are not delicious to me at all whatsoever. So I compromise, and I get these, and these aren't the cleanest of clean food for me, but they are a safe food for me that I feel good about eating a few times a week. So we buy eggs. We pretty much always keep eggs in stock. Aiden and I can eat eggs, my dad can eat eggs, Andy can eat eggs, my mom can't and my brother can't. They're both allergic and get headaches and have problems, but we get the high omega-3, free range, all of the good stuff. We spend the extra money to get really good animal products. We have Costco bags of wild caught, and we know that that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually wild raised and, you know, could just be thrown back into the river and then pulled back out, but it's the best we can find for our budget. So we have wild cod and wild salmon. We have shrimp. Again, it's good if I don't know what to make for dinner, throw together a veggie dish, I pick a protein, boom, done. I pick a carb, and we're all set. So I keep shrimp on hand. My brother, who is a vegan, he will drink all of these different fruit smoothies. Odwalla, different things you can get at Costco for pretty cheap. Naked Kale Blazer, he likes these, and they help him get calories. And I can't drink these; they would make me break out in a rash. I can't handle this much sugar. Aiden would never touch them; he doesn't eat sugar. My mom might drink a little bit. My dad might add some to his smoothies, and he does Shakeology smoothies with me. Definitely a really good product. Really like it. And he does that usually for like lunch, and I do it for a snack midday. Also, one of the best things you can eat, I'm sure you've heard this before, is liver of an animal, but it has to be an animal that's raised really well and has a very healthy lifestyle and doesn't eat pesticides, because if they're eating pesticides, it's going to be in their liver, and you're going to be eating their liver full of pesticides. So we get this from a local farm. We drive by and see all the cows out grazing in the huge fields. They seem very happy, and then we eat their livers. So this is the beef liver that we eat, and we recently went, and it was $2 a pound, and so we bought 11. We have 11 pounds of beef liver, and it's delicious. When I can give you a recipe, but I put it in the rice cooker with mushrooms, and I let it cook down, and then I use the immersion blender, and I puree it into like a mushroom soup that has kind of a livery flavor to it, but my body has learned to recognize it as really good, and I crave it, and it's the only thing that I like to eat for breakfast when I don't have an appetite. I've had it for breakfast for probably 30, 40 out of the past 50 days. I like liver, so. This is my chicken bone broth. So I get a couple of really healthy chickens, and I put them into a pot, and by that I mean frozen chickens, not live chickens. I put them into a pot, and I bake them for a couple of hours, or boil them for a couple of hours, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and then I pull the chickens out, let them cool off a little bit, I debone them, I put the bones back in, and then I let that cook like overnight, just at a simmer, and the next thing you know, you have this really gelatinous, fatty bone broth, and it's really, really good for you and really delicious. And I like to keep some on hand all the time. I put this with my liver and mushroom puree and a greens puree, which I'll show you. Okay, I didn't bring the greens puree. So I have little cubes. I cook down a lot of greens in water, and then I use the immersion blender to blend them up and puree them, and then it's kind of a thick soup. I put that into muffin tins, and I freeze that, and then I have those cubes in my freezer, and in the morning I put cubes of the liver mushroom puree from the freezer, cubes of the greens puree, and then some of my fresh bone broth into a mason jar. I warm that up, and that is what I drink for breakfast, and that gives me protein, and that gives me the greens, lots of fresh veggies, and that usually works really well for me. It doesn't always. Sometimes I need carbs in the morning, but most of the time, I think it kind of changes with my cycle, but most of the time it's really good, and that's what I want. And then I get hungry again, I do a Shakeology smoothie, and then at lunchtime I eat, I'll show you. So once again, I cooked in bulk, and this is beef that is portioned to the 21-day fix containers. So this is beef with taco seasoning that I made, and then this is just cubed up broccoli. I just put heads of broccoli in the Vidalia chopper, and then I sauteed that all, cooked that down, and put it into containers to measure it for the 21-day fix, and then put them into Ziploc bags, froze those up. So for lunch, I put one of these and one of these into a bowl, and I heat that up, and I include a piece of sweet potato, which I also cooked ahead of time and portioned for 21-day fix. And that is what I have for lunch most days now. I also have portioned out other things that I made in bulk, like chicken. So if I don't want beef, or if maybe at dinner I didn't serve a protein for some reason, or there wasn't enough, then I'll grab one of these containers of pre-made, pre-measured chicken and heat that up, and then that goes with my rest of my meal. The point is to make it really easy on yourself, so you can eat, so you know what to eat. I know exactly what to eat for lunch. It's not hard, and it's really delicious. way back when, I cooked a bunch of carrots, I put them in a bag. These bags are awesome for me when I'm trying to make a soup or I'm trying to cook something and I just need more filler. I just grab one of these, put that in, and I am on my way. Here are peppers, bell peppers, green peppers that I chopped up, and I have them ready to serve for my 21-day fixed diet as well. That I can eat for breakfast or whatever when I need an extra veggie. If I'm at the end of the day and I say, oh, I was supposed to have an extra serving of vegetables, I grab one of these, and they're really delicious. Also, vegetables are one thing that I don't mind giving myself a little extra of. So even if I have eaten all the vegetables, I don't count eating this much peppers as a bad thing if I want something to snack on. So other than that, other than the prepared foods, we have just a ton of fruits and vegetables. So we go to Costco, we buy big things that are safe that everybody can eat, and I'm just gonna run you through a bunch of stuff that we buy that everybody can eat. We can all eat green beans. Everybody in the house loves green beans. My vegan brother, my meat-consuming husband, myself with my different kind of diet, my mom with her issues, my dad who eats everything, Andy who eats everything, but he's vegan sometimes. We all eat green beans. We all eat root vegetables. So these are parsnips, rutabaga, yakima, sweet potato, all diced up. Usually I just put them through the Vidalia chopper, but these my mom actually cut into French fry shape. And we just mix these with some oil and some salt, and then we put them on a tray, and we have French fries. And we had too much, so now we have some for a serving later. Extra, ready and easy. Onions. We have onions in everything we eat. It's like the first thing. Always, whatever it is we're gonna make, even if we don't know what we're gonna make, we take an onion, we chop the ends off, we peel it, we put it through a Vidalia slicer, and we throw it in the wok, and then we make decisions about what else to put in there. So we have an entire drawer full of onions. Sweet potatoes. Everybody eats sweet potatoes here. We all love sweet potatoes. My brother and Aiden, who are very restricted on what carbs they can eat, they can both eat sweet potatoes, and they do a lot. We go through a lot of sweet potatoes, and now that we've started turning them into brownies, we have a lot of sweet potatoes, and we go through a lot of sweet potatoes really, really fast. Here in our world, we're local to Ingles. That's the store that we have. We also have Walmart, and we can find these big bags of greens. So this is what we do for greens. We've got a greens trio, we've got collard greens, big thing of baby spinach. We usually have like 3 or 4 of these at a time because you start cooking this down to make greens for dinner and like a sauteed greens. And this is just, if you've seen my video where I show how to make that, this disappears really fast. We keep nuts on hand. So again, more Costco. Almonds, pistachios, pecans. My brother can't eat nuts unless they're soaked. My mom soaks almond milk. I have a video up about almond milk that she shows you how to make almond milk. It's really, really easy. And he has cashew sour cream that he makes. I'll show you. So here's her almond milk. Here's his cashew sour cream. Just pull these right out of the fridge. She just made the almond milk to make the video for this. This is delicious. This is the cashew sour cream. And it's just soaked cashews, pureed, blended with a little bit of water and lemon juice and onion powder. And I'm making a video next, so if you're seeing this, it's probably already up. And this is awesome. And this is a base. This is a base that we use for a lot of things. We decided to make a green bean casserole that people could eat because, you know, most of us don't do dairy at all. And we can, you know, add mushroom and make it taste just like a mushroom soup and then mix it in with the green beans and all that. And it's an awesome, really amazing green bean casserole. I actually have always hated green bean casserole. I didn't like it as a kid. The onions on top and all that stuff made me sick. But my mom fries the onions in coconut oil, and we use this instead of the MSG filled Campbell's soup, and it's actually really good, and it doesn't leave me feeling gross, and I've actually learned to like green bean casserole because I made it healthier. Shocking. So you can see all the way in the back here, we have all of these spaghetti squashes, and there's butternut squash, there's whole fruit displays back there, oranges, apples, pears, there's, over here you can see raspberries and blueberries and dates, strawberries. We always have bananas, but we seem to be out. My brother goes through bananas really, really fast. And we've got over here, asparagus, yellow squash. I put those in like literally everything. Same with cabbage. There's cabbage over there. Asparagus, there's ginger. When I make salads, which I'll go on a salad kick and make salad for breakfast like every day, I love this balsamic vinegar from Costco. I don't like any other balsamic vinegar. I have gone to people's houses, I've used balsamic vinegar, and I don't really like balsamic vinegar, but this balsamic vinegar is very, very good. So far, everybody I've told that to over the years, and I've had try this, is completely sold on it. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend this one. Definitely check it out and try it. I promise you it's really delicious. I cook with refined coconut oil. Coconut oil is my favorite fat for cooking, and my brother can eat it, I can eat it, Aiden can eat it, my mom can eat it, the vegans can eat it, everybody can eat it. If I don't have it, or I'm feeling particularly lazy, then I pour olive oil instead of scooping coconut oil. But I use the refined so that everything doesn't taste like coconut. But definitely don't go super raw with your coconut oil. Raw is not better with coconut oil. There's a lot of bacteria and stuff that you do want to get rid of, and you want to let them go ahead and process that out for you. And again, refining it, the only difference is whether or not it's going to taste coconutty. So I don't really want all of my vegetables every night to taste coconutty, and they don't, because we use the refined. So that's my recommendation for coconut oil. Hemp hearts are really good on salads, really good in like a grass-fed yogurt. It's really good. For dairy products, I didn't see a whole lot in the fridge right now, but we tend to lean towards making our own. We get raw goat's milk from a farm down the street that we trust, and we make our own goat's milk yogurts, kefirs, all of that stuff. That's our preference, and it's really delicious, and we believe that it's very healthy. We also have a farm that Andy works on, and we're really friends with people who own it and run it. Just a couple of people who have a lot of land who really enjoy it. They're both married to other people, and they come together almost every day to work on this big farm. They have chickens and all sorts of stuff, and it's a really beautiful farm. And we get the honey from them, and when their chickens are laying, we get eggs from them. We know that their chickens are very healthy. We know their chickens are very loved, and it's really, really awesome opportunity. And I know that not everybody has the opportunity to have. We're up in the mountains. We have farms all over nearby. We go get the good beef. We go get the good chickens. We go get the good eggs, the honey. Andy helps make the honey. It's really expensive to get it that way. If we buy it from them for like a gift or something, it can be really expensive. But then Andy goes and actually like works, and we can do that too. Now that we're here, Aiden and I would like to go and help them make honey, and then we get honey from being there working and helping them harvest it. So really good ways to get things. Buy local, buy organic, support local farmers, all that jazz. But genuinely, if you can find a farm nearby, you can find a co-op, something like that, anything you get from them, clean food, go for it. Enjoy it, cook it up, do whatever you want with it. Don't put it on your McDonald's burger, but it's really good stuff. So I think that's about it. I think this video is about long enough, and I think I've shown you plenty of food that you can eat. If you want ideas on how to cook all of this, what to do with it, how to prepare it so that you can eat it and enjoy it, so your kids will like it, all of that stuff. If you want ideas for that, I make cooking videos. I've got a ton of them already. I'll continue to make them. Check out my YouTube channel. I tried to make tags so you can search for things, that kind of thing. The titles are usually pretty descriptive, but they're good ways to just chop everything up, put them in a wok, or find ways to do that. I made videos showing off the tools that I use to make it really easy. I'm gonna keep making videos to show you the really awesome, I'm about to make a sweet potato brownies for Christmas dinner, and I'm making a video, so you will learn how to make those too. And if you want some sort of cheat to try to decide if something is clean, just a clean food, something that you can say, this is nourishing to my body, think about a local farm. Think about whether if you and your family were a little house on the prairie, and how would you treat your animals? How would you treat your food? You wouldn't put pesticides on your vegetables that you're going to eat, and try to buy the kind of food that you can imagine eating in that kind of lifestyle. That's clean food. That's not the only food you can eat, but categorize clean food as different from other food. For me, like I said, like the chicken apple sausage, that's somewhere in between for me. It's a safe food, but it's not necessarily a clean food. I don't know the source of that chicken. I don't know what hormones and what fear, I don't know what is in that animal. I believe in those things, and I believe that meat is pretty bad for you. But I also believe that if it's a healthy animal and it was treated compassionately and it wasn't given a bunch of antibiotics so that it could be kept in a really tiny space with a bunch of other nasty, sick animals, that it's actually really good for you, and you're getting the nutrition of a happy, well-raised, healthy animal. But I don't feel like that about, say, the chicken sausages. So I don't just go crazy on them. That's not just a complete staple, but like on the 21-day fix diet, there's an extra protein that I'm trying to get in every day, and that's kind of my go-to. So message me if you have any questions. I definitely would like to help anybody who wants any help, and honestly, frequently when people ask me questions, I make them a whole video, because if you've got that kind of question, it's usually something I already know people want to know, and it brings up that information in me, and I pull out my camera and I make you a whole video. So comment, like, share, all that jazz. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing what I'm producing, and ask me questions, interact with me, help me create new stuff, and help everybody. That's what I'm doing here. I make these videos because people actually like my videos and are asking me questions, and these are my answers. So, what are your questions?